Welcome back. Now we are going to start coding a little bit with Scratch. But as a little precursor to that, I just want to point out, for those of you who might not have any coding experience yet, what you can realize, or maybe you do have at least experience with the command line in Minecraft. You can enter commands. In Minecraft, they're considered cheats, but I love using commands because there's so much functionality that you can accomplish with that. It also, I believe, starts as an interesting precursor to coding. But in this case, if you notice it started getting dark, I can type in a /time, and actually if you notice, as I start typing, all the different possible commands show up. So I'm going to do time, set, day, and that'll change it to day, right? I could go back to time, set, night. Now, there are a lot of commands like that. I could do /summon a pig, and let's say I want it to be, the tilde here means relative to where I am. Let's say I want it to fall from the sky from just 10 above me. I'm going to summon a pig 10 blocks above me. And here he just fell on me. There he is. Okay? So these are basic commands that you can use. Now, essentially, what you're doing when you're coding with Scratch is creating, code that accomplishes many of these things. So to be real simple in this first video, all I want to do is think about some of the things I might want to start out. Like also, I'll just show you this. Game mode. I can make it survival now. And now it's in survival. But it's funny. Wait, maybe in this version, wait, it should work. Game mode, survival. There we go. I actually typed game space mode, and that was not correct. So you saw kind of a syntax error even in the command line code. Now, also in the spirit of transparency, but also understanding this process, as I do these videos, I'm going to make plenty of mistakes, and most of them I'm going to try to work through right on the video. I might get a little flustered because I know there's an audience, but the truth is, when it comes to coding, you're going to do things, they're not going to work, you're going to iterate, you're going to realize what you did, you're going to walk away from the computer, you're going to think about it while you're swimming or running or jumping, and then you're going to come back with these other thoughts. Ooh, let me try it this way and whatnot. And that's all such a part of the process that I want you to even endure some of that with me and see how I hopefully go about troubleshooting some of these things. So real quick, and then we'll wrap up this video, is I just want to start using some of the code. So I'm going to go back into my Scratch area here, okay? Now, a couple of things I want to have happen, let's say when I start my game. I want to maybe make sure that the weather is clear when I start. I want to set the time to day, and I actually want to make it creative mode. And now this is interesting because I'm not entirely sure if game mode is one of these blocks that's built in or if I have to do it differently. So let's just take a quick look. See, and when in doubt, I can always do this, and I'll show you what that will do. That'll be interesting based on what I just did a second ago, unless I do find it. So interestingly, I don't think I see like game mode. So what I can do is I can always make my own command with this scary looking thing, okay? So I can always execute a command, and in this case, I'm gonna actually type in the command here. So it's gonna be, and I think I still need the /game mode. Am I spelling that right? Probably not. Game mode, and I'm gonna say creative. And it says here, and I gotta get used to how I can use this better, but on behalf of, oops, I just clicked it, so it started executing code. And what it did so far was it did set the time to day, it did set the weather to clear. It did not do this correctly yet, so I'm going to play around with this for a minute, if it'll let me. I might have to stretch this out for a second, and then I'll bring it back. So on behalf of which players, and this is interesting because with a lot of commands I have to tell it which players, and @A means all players. And at relative position wouldn't really matter with this, but let's see if it does work. If it works, you'll notice that this will change to creative mode. And it did. So we know that that code is working, and that's a neat way to test your code, is just test by clicking one line at a time. Okay, so I am going to do that there, and I am going to, now when am I gonna have this happen? This is where I go into some regular Scratch stuff. So if you have any experience with Scratch, you'll know when I go to events, I could very easily make it that whenever I click this flag, it's going to set these. And the reason I might do this now is, like, let's say these are the settings I want for my regular game in general. I'm going to go here. You can toggle between the screens different ways too if you do want this to be larger. So I'm going to go time set, oops, I need the slash. Time set night, just so you can see the difference. So now it's night, right? And now I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to click my little flag, and then I'm going to go back to game. And now you notice it did all those things, or so we think. It says set time to 3700, that would be day in this case. Update it to creative, and the weather is clear as well now. So that's just a really neat thing to think about, is what do you want as your settings at the beginning of a world that you're kind of getting into. Let's say you're playing multiplayer with people, and you kind of have your code connection up, and you say, ooh, I want to make it all these things for the people in the game, or whatnot, and that's how that would work. So I'm going to stop us there and then move on with our next video in a moment.